Dre, let's talk about this discipline thing. Because for me, when I look at the word discipline and when I really break this thing down for myself, discipline to me is the bridge between where we are today and where we want to go tomorrow. So what can we do to become more disciplined?
Number one thing I tell people, Anthony, when it comes to discipline is you got to figure out an anchor.
Come on,
you need
man.
an anchor to be disciplined.
Ooh.
Because if you try to make yourself be disciplined, you're going to fail.
Yeah.
A lot of people try to force discipline upon themselves, and you can do it for a little while. It's like if somebody wants to get in shape, but they hate going to the gym. You can force yourself to the gym maybe for 2 or 3 days, but you're not going to keep doing it. If you don't really want to go to the gym, eventually you're going to find a reason not to go.
Yeah.
You need an anchor, meaning what do you want bad enough that you're willing to deal with something that is uncomfortable for you in order to go through it. So if you are getting married in 6 months and you really want to look good in those wedding photos, you'll go to the gym even if you hate the gym, because how you look in those photos, right, is more important than the fact that you don't like the gym. And is really as simple as that. That is where a little bit of that, I guess you could call motivation. You know, the how bad do you want it piece that you hear a lot of motivational speakers talk about. And I don't really consider myself a motivational speaker, but when it comes to that point, you do have to have an anchor, something that is willing to pull you through the stuff that you don't really enjoy in order to be disciplined. If you don't have that in place, the discipline will eventually wear out. But discipline can become its own momentum at the same time.
Yeah.
Once you get it going, it becomes a habit and it starts to kind of work off its own energy. It's just the law of inertia that is easier to keep doing something you're already doing than it is to stop and start. So once you get a little bit of momentum with your discipline and you're seeing some results, or at least you have the belief in the results that are going to come, then you will be willing to keep that discipline going so you can get to the outcome you want to get to.
So break that down, man. Let's go deeper into that. How do we help people really start the process? They're saying, okay, I want to go to the gym. Okay, I want to start paying off my debt. Okay, I want to start a business and launch a business, but I'm not disciplined. What are some practical things they can do right now to really start that process of becoming disciplined?
I'll give you a couple things. The first thing is you got to stop negotiating with yourself. This is the first step when it comes to discipline for anyone who, and this is also mental toughness at the same time.
Yeah.
Negotiating with yourself is when you say, okay, I'm going to start putting away $20 a week, $200 out of every check, whatever it's going to be, going to the gym every morning. If you tell yourself you're going to do it, and then it comes to time to actually do that thing, you have to do it. And if you don't, what happens is, or you start trying to kind of change it up, like, all right, I said I was going to put away 200, let me just do 100. Said I was going to go to the gym 3 times a week, let me just do 2. Now, at that point, you're negotiating with yourself. And the thing the analogy that I give to people is, listen, if you have a job and your boss tells you, hey, I need these 5 things done by Friday, you don't go to your boss and say, hey, I'm only going to do 4. All right, if you have when you're growing up as a parent and your parent says, clean the kitchen and clean the living room, you don't say, well, I only wanted to do the living room. I'll do the kitchen tomorrow. Like, that doesn't work. Not the household I grew up in.
In my household,
work.
I got slapped, bro. So, you know,
exactly.
That doesn't work.
Exactly. So the same way that we show that respect to our bosses, to our coaches if you play sports, to our parents growing up, you got to show yourself that same respect.
Yeah.
And every time you don't do that and you negotiate with yourself, what you do is you lose a little bit of trust in yourself. Just a little bit subconsciously, you're telling yourself, okay, when I tell myself I'm going to do something, I don't really mean it because I could just negotiate and just weasel my way out of it. You wouldn't do that with your parents. You wouldn't do it with your bosses. Don't do it with yourself. So that's number one. Stop negotiating with yourself.
Got you.
The second thing is you got to make the discipline easy. And the way you can make discipline a little bit easier is you want to set yourself up for success. So, for example, if we're talking about getting out of debt, figure out a way that you can set up to automatically take that money that comes out of from your check into your bank account, automatically take it out and send it towards where it needs to go. So you don't have to remember to do it, or you don't have to go through the psychological pain of seeing yourself take that money and put it somewhere that you can't spend it. If you can make that automate that process, it's much easier for it to get done than you having to remember and make yourself do it.
That's real.
Or let's say somebody going to the gym. All right, you don't like going to the gym, so make sure you put your sneakers out, put your workout clothes out the night before, so when you wake up in the morning, you don't have to make the decision to pull out your sneakers and pull out the workout gear because you know you don't like going to the gym anyway. And if you have to make that decision, now that's a little bit less willpower you have to make another decision and another one and another one.
Yeah.
So 2 things is that stop negotiating with yourself. make it easy for yourself. Set yourself up for success so that you don't have to make so many decisions. When you're trying to bring discipline into your life for something that you're not naturally inclined to do, you want to make it as easy as possible, reducing the decision-making process, reducing the friction, and reducing the amount of willpower required in order to make it happen.
Man, that's so good. I want to add a third thing to add on to what you said. I think for those of you all listening right now, those two are very, very important. I would very quickly say, for me, if you want to be disciplined, have a why. I say why power is stronger than willpower. Willpower gets you through. Why power pushes you to get to. So it's like if you want discipline, make sure that you have a strong and a deep why, because that why will get you up and you don't feel like going to the gym. And then your willpower will get you through the gym. You see what I'm saying? And so for me, if you want discipline, you really got to dive deep down into why do I want to be debt-free? Why do I want to start this business? Why do I want to be an entrepreneur? Why do I want to get married? Why do I want to do this? And when you can answer that question, then the next step is your willpower will get you through, man. So good, bro. So good.